Hi, my name is Brooke, and I'm 24 years old. Right now, I'm in the middle of finals week at law school, and the stress feels like it's crushing me from all sides. My dorm room looks like a battlefield, stacks of casebooks, scattered notes, and empty coffee cups everywhere. Even though I'm exhausted, my mind keeps drifting away from the exams and onto something else. My upcoming birthday. Turning 24 should feel like a milestone, but for me, birthdays have always been complicated. My family never really made me feel celebrated. My older sister, Megan, was always the favorite child. When she turned 14, my parents threw her a huge party, decorations, entertainment, even a professional cake that everyone admired. When my birthday came just a few months later, all I got was a small grocery store cake and a pair of socks. That was the first time I truly realized I was less important to them. As the years passed, that pattern never changed. Megan always got the newest phones while I was given her old ones. She wore designer outfits while I got her hand-me-downs. When she graduated high school, my parents gifted her a car. When I graduated, I received nothing more than a simple bookstore gift card. Every little thing reminded me of where I stood in their eyes. On the outside, looking in, the only person who ever made me feel different was my grandfather, William. He believed in me when no one else did. When I told him I wanted to study law, his eyes lit up with pride. "You've got a sharp mind, Brooke," he told me. "One day, you'll fight for what's right and go further than anyone expects." This year, he promised me something I never imagined, a real birthday celebration. He even gave my parents money to make it happen. I should have been excited, but knowing my parents, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in my chest. What if they ruined it? What if they found a way to make even this about Megan? Still, I kept telling myself to focus on exams first. If I could get through the pressure of finals, maybe, just maybe, this birthday would finally be different. The morning of my last exam, I felt like I was running on pure adrenaline. After hours of scribbling down case law and dissecting arguments, I finally walked out of the exam hall. The heavy weight I'd been carrying for weeks lifted, and for the first time in a long while, I could breathe. Around me, classmates buzzed with excitement about their summer plans, internships, trips, road adventures. But all I could think about was my birthday. On my way back to the dorm, my phone lit up with notifications. Friends from law school had already started sending early birthday messages. "Happy almost 24th, Brooke," one text read. Another said, "Don't forget we're celebrating when you get back." The attention, even if small, felt nice. At least here, in this world I was building for myself, people actually remembered me. When I reached my dorm, my roommate, Helen, looked up from her laptop with a smile. "Big family gathering, huh? You ready for it?" she asked. I forced a smile as I dropped my bag. "Yeah, should be interesting." She raised an eyebrow. "You don't sound excited." I sighed and sat down on my bed. It's just my family isn't really the warm, loving type, especially when it comes to me. They always made Megan the star. Helen gave me a thoughtful look. "But this year's different, right? Your grandpa's planning everything. That has to count for something." I nodded. "Yeah. Grandpa William's always been different. He actually cares. Honestly, he's the only reason I'm even going home for this birthday." That night, as I packed my bag for the trip home, my emotions tangled in knots. Hope flickered in my chest, but dread weighed heavy too. Would the house be decorated? Would my parents actually act happy for me? Or would it all somehow fall apart, like always? The bus ride home felt endless. With every mile, my heart pounded harder. I tried to imagine balloons, laughter, maybe even a cake with my name on it. For once, I wanted to feel celebrated. For once, I wanted to matter. Finally, the bus pulled into my hometown. I grabbed my bag, stepped off, and made the walk toward my parents' house. As I reached the driveway, I took a deep breath, praying that this time things would be different. But when I opened the front door, the silence inside told me everything I didn't want to hear. "Mom? Dad? I'm home," I called out as I stepped into the living room. My bag slipped from my shoulder when I saw them sitting stiffly on the couch. No balloons. No streamers. No cake. The house looked exactly as it always did, quiet and plain. My stomach twisted. "Where's all the birthday stuff?" I asked, my voice shaky. They exchanged a look that made my heart sink further. My father, James, cleared his throat. "About that, Brooke, we decided not to have the party." For a second, I thought I misheard. "What? But Grandpa gave you money for it." My mother, Margaret, cut in coldly. "We gave that money to Megan instead. She and Ethan went on a trip to Boston a few days ago." Her words hit me like a punch. "You what?" "It was better this way," my father added, still refusing to meet my eyes. "Megan needed the vacation. You understand, don't you?" I felt heat rising to my cheeks. "Understand? No, I don't understand. It was supposed to be my birthday party. I invited people. What am I supposed to tell them?" Margaret waved a hand dismissively. "We already told them you were too stressed with law school and needed to cancel." My jaw dropped. "You lied? You made me look pathetic instead of just admitting the truth." James's expression hardened. "That's enough, Brooke. You're being selfish." I let out a bitter laugh, though tears burned in my eyes. "Selfish? You stole money that was meant for me, my birthday, and gave it to Megan. How am I selfish for being upset about that?" At that moment, the front door opened. My heart leaped, hoping maybe Megan had come back to admit what she'd done. But it wasn't Megan, it was Grandpa William. He stepped inside, his sharp eyes scanning the room, instantly sensing the tension. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice firm. "Where's the party I paid for?" I turned toward him, my voice breaking. "There is no party, Grandpa. They gave the money to Megan so she and Ethan could take a trip." The fury that crossed his face was something I had never seen before. His gaze locked on my parents, filled with disappointment and rage. "Is that true?" he demanded. They didn't answer. Their silence was enough. Grandpa turned back to me, his voice softening. "Pack your things, Brooke. You're coming with me." I didn't need to be told twice. My hands trembled as I grabbed my bag from the floor and bolted upstairs. I threw clothes into my backpack as fast as I could, my heart racing. From downstairs, I could hear my grandfather's voice, low, steady, but sharp as a blade. He wasn't yelling, but every word dripped with disappointment and anger as he spoke to my parents. I couldn't make out the details, but I didn't need to. His tone said it all. When I came back down, Grandpa William was standing by the door, waiting. He didn't even glance at James or Margaret. Neither did I. Without another word, we walked out together. The moment the door shut behind us, I felt like years of suffocating weight had been lifted. As we drove away, the tears finally spilled. It wasn't just about a canceled party. It was about 24 years of being treated like I was nothing. I pressed my forehead against the car window, trying to steady my breathing. Grandpa reached over and placed a firm but gentle hand on mine. "Don't you worry, Brooke. We'll make this right. You deserve better than this, and it's about time someone showed you that." When we arrived at his house, a warm, welcoming two-story home on the edge of town, he gave me a determined look. "This might not be the party you were promised," he said, "but we're going to celebrate your birthday properly." True to his word, Grandpa wasted no time. He grabbed his phone, dialing with surprising speed for his age. To my amazement, he ordered enough food to feed what felt like an army. "Rush delivery," he told the restaurant before hanging up. Then he turned to me with a wink. "Hope you're hungry. We've got a feast on the way." For the first time all day, I laughed through my tears. I sat at the kitchen table, watching him bustle around. He pulled out his best dishes, silverware polished to perfection. I offered to help, but he shook his head. "It's your birthday, Brooke. You sit, relax, and let me handle this." As I sat there, I couldn't shake the question gnawing at me. It was something I had felt my whole life, but never dared to ask. Finally, the words slipped out in a whisper. "Grandpa, why don't they love me?" He froze, his back to me, shoulders stiff. For a long moment, he didn't move. Then, slowly, he turned and sat down across from me. His eyes were heavy with sadness, but his grip on my hand was steady. "Oh, Brooke," he said softly, "I suppose it's time you knew the truth." My heart pounded in my chest. The truth about what? Grandpa took a deep breath, as if bracing himself. Then he looked me straight in the eye and spoke the words that shattered everything I thought I knew. Your parents, they never wanted you to be born. The words hit me like a sledgehammer. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. What do you mean? I whispered. Grandpa's eyes softened, but his voice stayed steady. After Megan was born, your parents decided one child was enough. They thought she was perfect, the golden girl. When your mother became pregnant with you, they didn't want to go through with it. But I wouldn't allow it. I told them that every child deserves a chance. I fought for you, Brooke. You're here because I refuse to let them take that chance away. Tears blurred my vision. My chest felt hollow. So, it's my fault? She almost died when she gave birth to me, didn't she? That's why she hates me. No, Grandpa said firmly, gripping my hand tighter. Don't you ever blame yourself. Complications happen. It wasn't your fault. But your mother, she let her fear turn into resentment. And your father? He followed her lead. Megan grew up spoiled because they poured everything into her, while you were left to fend for yourself. I sat in silence, my heart breaking all over again. Deep down, I'd always known I was unwanted, but hearing it out loud cut deeper than I could ever imagine. Before I could say anything else, the doorbell rang. Our food had arrived. Grandpa stood, leaving me frozen in my seat as he brought in bags of steaming dishes. The smell filled the room, warm and inviting, but my stomach was twisted too tight to be hungry. Still, Grandpa insisted. Eat, Brooke. Tonight is about you. For once, you will be celebrated. And so, we sat together at the table, eating like it was a true feast. He told me stories about his youth, about his own struggles, about the mistakes he made and the victories he earned. His voice carried laughter, warmth, and a kind of love I had never truly felt before. Slowly, bit by bit, the knot in my chest began to loosen. Hours passed in a blur, and before long, we were down to the last slice of cake. Just as I was about to take a bite, Grandpa's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, then smirked. It's Megan, he said, holding up the phone. Shall we see what she wants? I hesitated, curiosity burning. Finally, I nodded. He put the call on speaker. Grandpa? Why is my card blocked? What's going on? Megan's voice was high-pitched and panicked. Grandpa's tone was calm, almost amused. Megan. I see you've discovered that actions have consequences. What are you talking about? She snapped. His voice hardened. Taking money meant for your sister's birthday and using it for yourself. That was selfish and cruel. I am deeply disappointed in you. There was silence. Then Megan's voice returned, dripping with venom. Oh, come on. Mom and Dad did the right thing. Brooke doesn't need some big celebration. You're just a bitter old man. That's enough. Grandpa's voice was steel. I've heard enough from you. Goodbye. And with that, he ended the call. I stared at him, wide-eyed. Did you really block her card? He gave me a satisfied nod. Her card. And your parents' accounts as well. Let them learn to stand on their own feet for once. As if on cue, the phone started ringing again, this time my parents. Grandpa ignored it and turned back to me with a smile. Now then, Brooke, how about we plan the rest of your birthday week? For the first time in years, I felt truly loved. The next few days with Grandpa felt like stepping into another world, a world where I wasn't invisible, where I wasn't just the other daughter. We shopped together, visited local museums, and even took a long walk through the park where he used to take me as a child. For the first time in my life, I felt like someone genuinely enjoyed my company. But the peace didn't last long. When I returned to my dorm a week later, my phone was flooded with missed calls and messages. My parents, Megan, even Ethan. Reluctantly, I opened the texts. From my mother. Brooke, you need to talk to your grandfather. This is unacceptable. Make him unblock our accounts. From my father. We're your parents. You owe us loyalty. Tell William to reverse this nonsense immediately. And from Megan. You little brat. Is this what you wanted? To ruin everything for us? We're stranded in Boston because of you. Fix this now. My hands trembled as I scrolled. The sheer entitlement in their words made me sick. After everything they had done, they still expected me to save them. I took a deep breath, typed out a single reply, and sent it to all three of them. This is between you and Grandpa. Do not involve me. Please don't contact me again. Then, with shaking fingers, I blocked their numbers. For a few blissful days, I thought maybe that would be the end of it. But they found new numbers to call from. Every voicemail dripped with guilt trips, insults, and demands. One night, I made the mistake of answering. My mother's voice came through sharp and venomous. You ungrateful trash. I should have never given birth to you. I should have had an abortion instead. The words sliced through me like knives. I hung up immediately, tears streaming down my face. That was the last straw. I blocked every single number they tried, shut my phone off, and curled into bed, shaking. Their cruelty no longer surprised me, but it still hurt more than I wanted to admit. In the weeks that followed, I buried myself in law studies, clinging to the hope that hard work could drown out the pain. Every time I spoke to Grandpa, his voice steadied me. How are you holding up, Brooke? He would ask gently. I forced a small smile, even if he couldn't see it over the phone. I'm okay, Grandpa. Just focusing on classes. That's my girl, he said with pride. You're stronger than you think. Don't let them break you. And for the first time in my life, I believed him. It was early autumn, the leaves on campus beginning to turn gold, when something happened that caught me completely off guard. I was crossing the quad with my casebooks in hand when I heard someone call my name. Brooke. I turned and froze. Jogging toward me with that familiar confident smile was Ethan, Megan's boyfriend. The same Ethan who had gone to Boston with her on my birthday money. Before I could react, he pulled me into a hug. I stood stiff, stunned, until he finally let go. His grin widened. I was hoping I'd run into you. Can we talk? There's a cafe just off campus. Every instinct screamed to walk away, but curiosity made me nod. Fine. But I don't have long. At the cafe, Ethan leaned across the table, his eyes locked on mine with unsettling intensity. Brooke, I need to tell you something. I want to be with you. I nearly choked on my coffee. What? I'm going to leave Megan, he said firmly. I've been in love with you for a long time. I only dated her because I wanted to be close to you. My mind reeled. This didn't make sense. Ethan had barely acknowledged me when Megan was around. His sudden confession felt forced, fake. Still, I played along, forcing a shy smile. Wow. I didn't know you felt that way. His face lit up. So, would you give us a chance? I'll wait for you, Brooke. Just say yes. I nodded slowly. This is a lot to take in. Let me think about it. Maybe we can talk again in a week. Relieved, he agreed eagerly and left. I sat there, my heart pounding, suspicion curling in my gut. Why now? Why me? And then it hit me. It wasn't about me. It was about Grandpa's money. That suspicion was confirmed an hour later when my phone rang. Megan. Against my better judgment, I answered. You backstabbing little snake, she screamed through the phone. How could you do this to me? I winced. Megan, what are you talking about? Don't play dumb. Ethan just dumped me. He said he's going to be with you. You stole him from me. My stomach lurched. What? I had no idea. Oh, don't act innocent, she spat. He's only after you for Grandpa's money. You think he really loves you? Please. You're just a way back into the will. Her words made my blood run cold. What are you talking about, Megan? She laughed bitterly. You don't know? Grandpa's cutting Mom, Dad, and me out of his will. Everything is going to you. Because he found out about their little plan. I gripped the phone tighter. Plan? What plan? Her voice dripped with resentment. They try to have him declared mentally unfit so they could take control of his assets. But the old man outsmarted them. So now it's all yours, little princess. The pieces snapped into place. Ethan's sudden love, my parents' desperation, Megan's rage. It wasn't about me. It was about what Grandpa had chosen to protect. And I was the only one left standing in their way. I hung up on Megan, my hands shaking with fury. My family's greed had no limits. They had tried to strip my grandfather of his dignity, and now Ethan was using me as a pawn. With trembling fingers, I called Grandpa William. He answered on the first ring. "Brooke, are you all right?" I swallowed hard. "Grandpa, I just found out. About the inheritance. About Mom and Dad trying to have you declared unfit. Is it true?" There was a pause. Then he chuckled softly. "Ah, so Megan told you." "Yes, it's true." They thought they could fool the commission, but I invited them in for tea, answered every question, even solved a Sudoku puzzle right in front of them. Needless to say, their little scheme failed miserably. I couldn't help but smile through my tears. "And now you've left everything to me?" His voice grew firm but kind. "I had no choice, Brooke. They've shown me who they really are. But you've shown strength, integrity, and resilience. My company, my savings, my legacy, I want it in the hands of someone who will use it wisely. I trust you." My throat tightened. "I promise I won't let you down." The next week, as expected, Ethan showed up again on campus. His confident smile faltered when he saw the coldness in my eyes. "Brooke," he said smoothly, "I've been thinking about us." "Save it," I snapped, cutting him off. "I know the truth. You and Megan deserve each other. You're both greedy, selfish, and disgusting." His fake charm crumbled, replaced with anger. "You're making a mistake. No one will want you after this." I laughed bitterly. "Oh, I'd rather be alone than with a gold-digging liar like you." With nothing left to say, he stormed off, and for the first time, I felt truly free. In the months that followed, I devoted myself to law school with a new determination. On weekends, I sat with Grandpa William, learning everything I could about his business, his strategies, and the values that guided him. He became my mentor, my anchor, and my only true family. For the first time in 24 years, I wasn't just the forgotten daughter. I wasn't invisible. I had a future, a purpose, and someone who believed in me. The pain of losing my parents and sisters still lingered, but it was no longer a wound. It was a scar, a reminder of the strength I had found in their absence. And as I looked ahead, I knew one thing for certain. I was no longer defined by the love I never received. I was defined by the love and trust one had earned. My story wasn't one of being unwanted anymore. It was a story of survival, resilience, and a new beginning. This was today's story on Revenge Repeat, a journey filled with betrayal, heartbreak, and the strength to rise above it all. If this story touched you, make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Revenge Repeat so you never miss the most intense stories of betrayal, revenge, and redemption. Your support means everything, and it helps us continue bringing you more unforgettable stories. Stay tuned, because on this channel, revenge always comes full circle.